Hello everyone, Darren here, and on today's episode of WotC Academy, we are going to be discussing the new Flamethrower mechanic that was recently added to World of Tanks Modern Armor. So, real quick, I'll be discussing in the first half a couple main key points from the article, of which will be linked in the video description below, and then we'll be jumping into some visual demonstrations in the second half of this video. So, starting off with real quick, the Flamethrower is exactly as you hear. It is your tank will be able to shoot flames, but only select tanks that are, at least for right now, historically been known to have a flamethrower on them. These flamethrowers will act as part of the multi-weapon system for now. We have no idea if in the future a vehicle will come out that is exclusively a flamethrower, so at least for right now it is part of the multi-weapon system, and the flamethrower will act as kind of like a clip system here, where you will have a fuel and then the fuel will run out and then you have to reload and then be able to fire again. Now the flamethrower will act similar to HE, and in the photo that you can see here, it will have its own special reticle to indicate that you are using the flamethrower weapon. So see the image above of the ammo icon and the unique reticle. Moving on, is the flamethrowers are going to basically be short to mid-range weapons, so you'll be able to reach targets in a range of 90 to 300 meters in front of your gun, depending on the tank, of course. So we know that various tanks will have various ranges, and it is not a set distance. Now, the flames will deal small but ongoing amounts of damage, and the longer you hose an enemy with the fire, the longer the tank will burn. And unlike regular shells, you can torch multiple enemies with a single clip burst of fire from your flamethrower. Now, the flamethrower has a special mechanic attached to it, the external fire, which is a different effect from the fires that existed prior to the addition of the flamethrower mechanic. External fires also will deal damage to open top and closed top tanks differently, and we'll be discussing that a little bit later, as well as a visual demonstration. With this new external fire mechanic comes a new HUD icon. As you can see in the image in the corner of the screen here, you will see that pop up next to the 6th Sense targeted, already targeted alerts as well, just above the tank status window. There is some additional information as well when with external fires. Some of that I'm not going to explain because it's just pointless information. Each hit from the flamethrower will add 0.2 seconds of burn time, and the maximum duration of flame on a tank is going to be 8 seconds. It is also possible to receive an internal fire from an external fire, but the probability is going to be low. In regards to the environment, damage against buildings and the environment will be treated the same as a regular shot. And lastly, the new burn decals have been created for areas on the map or objects hit by the flame. So keep an eye for those when you see someone messing around with the flamethrower game. Moving on, I'm going to relatively cover these parts briefly. Like I said, the damage between open top and closed top vehicles is different, and the effects are different. I'm going to put the comparison chart in the corner of the screen. Of course, you can check it out on the article as well, but honestly, it's much easier to explain and understand when you see the visual comparison. Moving on to the consumables, that has also been updated, and I will be doing a more in-depth explanation when I update the consumables guide. The fire extinguishers have been updated to also have an effect on the external fires as well. And in summary, as you can see by the chart here that you can pause and take a look at, it will extinguish external fires. And of course, the enemy team will get a notice when the fire extinguisher is active, and with an icon that you can see also on the screen here. You will not be able to be set on fire and it will remain active until the timer expires, and then you'll be able to be caught on fire again. Otherwise, that does it for the pretty much the article explanation summary of how the fire extinguishers work and an overview of the new mechanic. Let's take a look at the visual demonstrations. So visually here, the first thing I wanted to show you was what it would look like when the flamethrower is active. You will have a visual cue, at least here on the Churchill Okie, that you are on the flame mechanic by a visual flame coming out of the flamethrower. You can see me swapping between the two different weapons. And then obviously I'm shooting the flamethrower, and you can see it actually goes pretty far here on the Churchill Okie. And as you can see left of the reticle, it functions much like a clip system here, where you have a finite amount of fuel, and then you run out, and then you have to reload. Other than that, that does it for the visual demonstration of what the flamethrower looks like. We will now be moving over to the differences in terms of the effect of damage on tanks when you are hit by the flamethrower. Moving on to the damage for closed-top tanks, you will see that the external fire will do double damage to the optics and will break them quickly, and it will damage the engine over time. Now, if the engine breaks, it will also start an internal fire, and of course, because everything is closed off to the environment, all other modules will not be broken by the external fire. And as you can see here, in the HUD, my optics are broken, my engine is broken, and of course, nothing else is affected. Of course, for open-top vehicles, we can visually see here that the effect of being hit by a flamethrower is much more devastating. The crew will be knocked out, but gradually, of course, and there's a 50% chance with every fire tick. Now, exposed hitboxes for ammo racks, radios, fuel will have a greatly increased percentage of taking damage or taking direct damage to their health pools. And external fires will not damage or harm the track and gun modules. Those are the only components of the tank not affected by the flamethrower here. And again, just letting it happen again, we can see here just how devastating it would be to get hit by a flamethrower in an open-top vehicle. Everything basically breaks but your gun and tracks. Now, the last thing I wanted to cover that is not covered by the guides is that it is actually possible to be blinded by the flamethrower if it actually hits you directly in the optics when you're aiming, of course. It's kind of difficult to tell where the optics actually are, the camera that you see. But, of course, you will see that occasionally we'll get it right, and it's blinding. It's very hard to aim. Otherwise, that's going to do it for the flamethrower guide. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. But until next time, this has been Darren of WotC Academy.